Welcome to another episode of Music Therapy. I am John Thewin, your resident mental health therapist, and today we are listening to your recommended song of Winning Streak by Jelly Roll. If you have another song you want to see me react to, please drop it in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Let's get right into it, y'all.
Once again, Jelly Roll.
Real music for real people. The broken glass of a bottle makes a Jagger rock bottom. And right now I got two shaky hands, only one way to stop it. And I haven't touched a drop in 7 hours, 3 minutes. Hardly sobered up, already wanna quitting. Sweating in an old church basement, wishing I was wasted. I never thought I'd say this. Hello, my name's Jason. I've been losing myself, I've been losing my mind.
Oh, I love this already. So he is in the throes of addiction in this video. He's saying it's the broken glass of a bottle makes a jagged rock bottom. And this idea of shaking, having the delirium tremors, which are directly related to alcohol withdrawal, basically you don't have control of your dexterity until you start shaking. And the powerlessness of addiction, of being in the throes of addiction, can really consume people and make them want to go back and drink. And he here is describing going to a peer support group or maybe even treatment and sitting in a group and saying, hey, I'm Jason, I have a problem, I am an alcoholic and I need help. And that is one of the most powerful things you can do to get help and to be vulnerable about where you are and how you can get there. Let's listen to this again. This is so awesome.
Right now I got two shaky hands, only one way to stop it. And I haven't touched a drop in 7 hours, 3 minutes. Hardly sobered up, already wanna quitting. Sweating in an old church basement, wishing I was wasted. I never thought I'd say this. Hello, my name's Jason. I've been losing myself, I've been losing my mind. I've been standing in the rain, just trying to stay dry. I was so ashamed.
Oh, that's such a great description of addiction, to say I'm standing in the rain trying to stay dry. And what people don't understand about addiction is you need maintenance in order to not have withdrawal once you're in the throes of it. And so it's either you stop drinking and you could possibly die from alcohol detox without proper medical surveillance, or you continue drinking. And that's the idea of he wants to get sober, he wants to be dry, but he has to drink in order to maintain his sanity. And it traps you. That's why they call addiction the trap, is because it traps you into drinking to feel normal, and then you become dependent on it, and then you can't function without it. So yeah, wow, this is so powerful. That is the best description. Standing in the rain, just trying to stay dry. Holy heck, that's powerful.
I've been losing my mind. I've been standing in the rain, just trying to stay dry. I was so ashamed to be in this seat till I met a man who was 20 years clean. He said everybody here's felt the same defeat. Nobody walks through these doors on a winning streak.
Yes. Oh, I love the harmonizing in the back, the choir in the back, so real. But the idea that when you are in active addiction and you seek out treatment, whether that is a detox center, residential treatment center, or even a peer support group like AA or NA or Smart Recovery, no one comes in there on a winning streak. They all have traumas, they all have baggage, and they all are struggling every minute of every day to stay sober. And the idea that this losing streak, that this past trail of traumas ultimately brings addicts together, brings people in early recovery together, is so important. Because without it, people would feel alone and then the shame would spiral. See, he said, I'm ashamed to sit in this seat until I met a man who was 20 years clean. Because that's what keeps addiction alive, is this shame that is perpetuated by it. The shame of lying to your family, of stealing things, of living outside of your values. What it does is it keeps you trapped in the trap of addiction. And until you get help, you don't stand a chance. I mean, no one can battle the demon and the beast of addiction on their own. And that's why groups are so important for people in early recovery and even active addiction.
Through these doors on a winning streak.
You see how he's pleading there. He says, hold on, hold on, hold on. Don't give up. Don't give up. He's been there. He knows. If you're in active addiction now, hold on. Don't give up. Seek out help. You'll get better. I promise, right? That's how it goes.
Just hold on.
I can almost see like the pain in his eyes that he maybe has lost friends or family to addiction. And he's saying, hold on. He's getting on his knees, begging and pleading. He's saying, I need you here. We need more people in recovery and fewer in addiction, because it is a hell on earth to be in active addiction.
Just hold on. The broken man in the mirror can't look at me 'cause he's guilty. And I swear for the last couple months that mother tried to kill me.
Right.
By the time I saw it coming, it was done with already. It's hard to...
Wow, this idea that he is looking at himself in the mirror and that he's guilty. And absolutely, right, when the shame of addiction brings you down and it makes it your best friend. The drug of choice becomes your best friend in active addiction. And when you want help, it's so hard to ask for, because your maladaptive strategy is to just use, to get high, to get drunk. But then the hardest step is so often the first one. And suicidal ideation is a very common feature across all active addiction, whether it's passive or suicidal. A symptom of addiction is suicidality, and it can manifest in like overdosing attempts or even just passively wanting to die. There's such a range in it, and the idea that this addiction person is living in your skin, making the worst out of your life and relationship, trying to kill you, it's, that's when the intellect has to come up and say, wow, like, I need help. I cannot live this way any longer. I know where I'm headed. I'm going to the grave if I continue down this road. And it's just so important to really think about your life and where you're headed in addiction to really give your recovery purpose and meaning.
And I swear for the last couple months that mother tried to kill me. By the time I saw it coming, it was done with already. It's hard to run from it when it runs in the family. A problem with 1,000 more it's causing. Man, it's all exhausting. This is why I walked in. Thank y'all.
This is so powerful. I'm getting the goosebumps. I'm getting tears in my eyes. So powerful. But this idea of when it runs in the family, you can't run from it. There's a saying in psychiatry that says, environment increases the result. So if, for instance, if your parents are drinking alcohol all the time, you're likely going to drink alcohol all the time. And then genetics increases the probability of that occurring. So if you have a great aunt or a great grandma who drank, then that increases the probability you likely have an addictive personality and a proclivity for addiction with substances. But environment is so important, especially with addiction, because that's how you're taught to cope with it. When you see it on the floor, on the shelf, you're likely to pick it up when things get hard. And it absolutely, I've worked with people with intergenerational addictions, from, grandparents, if they're still alive, to, the children and then their children, and it's just spreads so quickly. And so it's so important to really be sober and to get yourself help before having children. Otherwise, that will spread quickly.
Runs in the family, a problem with 1,000 more it's causing. Man, it's all exhausting. This is why I walked in. Thank y'all. I've been losing myself, I've been losing my mind. I've been standing in the rain just trying to stay dry. I was so ashamed to be in this seat till I met a man that was 20 years clean. He said everybody here has felt the same defeat. Nobody walks through these doors on a winning streak.
Oh, I love that. And what does that 20-year sober man represent to him? It represents hope to Jelly, that, wow, this person has been sober 20 years. Maybe I can get 1 year. Maybe I can get 2 or 10. And that is how peers can help each other more than sometimes therapists can help people, because they say, hey, I've walked the path of fire. I'm in recovery myself, and this song really is relatable because what people in active addiction want someone who's lived it, like a therapist who's lived through the struggles of their own active addiction. And it is so important to walk and survive the trial by fire in order to help people who are also in the flames right now. And that's something that people in recovery want, is they say, I want a sponsor, I want a therapist in recovery, because otherwise they don't know. And I understand that. It's fair enough.
Nobody walks through these doors on a winning street.
Broken, hopeless, at the end of his rope. Yes, that is what I've seen working with people in these treatment centers, is they are at an absolute loss with their addiction. Whether it's, I once helped this person who had a cocaine addiction, and he had $60,000 a year he was spending on cocaine over a year, and he was in an active addiction for 3.5 years. So you do the math there, like $200,000. And not to mention his shattered relationships, his shattered nasal passages from having the cocaine just burn his nose. And the health toll is so, not having that sleep equals brain damage. All of these variables add up, and they compound on each other. And so it does. One universal feature of addiction is absolutely being in this place of depression and needing help and being at your lowest, suffering for no reason, it seems like. And that's when it's so important to seek out help, because we're all broken in active addiction. No one's whole. No one feels absolutely whole with their drug of choice. Maybe for that 1 second euphoria, but that fades and leads to brokenness really quickly.
So what do I do? So what do I do? What do I do? I've been losing myself, I've been losing my mind. And I've been standing in the rain just trying to stay dry.
Oh, I love that guy in the back singing too. That was so cool.
And I've been standing in the rain just trying to stay dry. So ashamed to be in this seat till I met a man who was 20 years clean. He said everybody here has felt the same defeat. Nobody walks through these doors on a winning street.
Bleeding, begging, hold on. Wow, puts his hand on his heart. Oh, that makes me so emotional. So powerful. Let's go back. I feel like these singers in the back also have an addiction story, just with their passion. And oh my gosh, they have to have some connection. We've all lost people to addiction, whether it's a best friend, a family member, and this is a cry for hope. It's a desperate song, but it's saying, hey, if you're on a losing streak, go to treatment, seek out help, go to therapy. You'll be on a winning streak sooner or later. I love this so much. And the idea that addiction is a problem of the brain, it's a behavior disorder and also a disease that occurs in the brain, but it also hits the heart just as much. I mean, feels like the shame and the detachment that come from addiction and damaging relationships. It hits the heart, and losing people, of course, hits the heart. So it's really, addiction and recovery is the longest journey you'll take sometimes, because it's really going from your heart to your head, and your brain to your heart, and unifying them, body, mind, soul, all those things, and realizing that, hey, we have so much more potential if we're sober, and that oftentimes being sober is a prerequisite for growth and being your best self. And that's hard to digest sometimes. But wow, what a powerful song. Jelly Roll, so incredible. This live performance gave me goosebumps the whole time. If you're in recovery out there, I would love to build a recovery community in this YouTube channel. Please comment how long you've been sober, how that's working for you. If you're in active addiction, tell us your game plan, how you plan on getting sober. I would love to see some people working towards their recovery in this community right here. We have an amazing community. Thank you so much for being here. What an incredible song. And I look forward to seeing you in the next music therapy episode.